Alright folks, welcome back. This is episode 17 of the Array Archive series. The final episode for right now, of course, because we never know. ICT 3 years later might just come out with a new PD array called the invalidation block or just something crazy. And it might just be a super overpowered PD array. But for right now, okay, this is the final episode, episode 17, the suspension block. What is the suspension block? Okay, and just as a little disclaimer, I'm a little sick. It's very minor. It's just mucus, coughing, minor sneezing. So if I sneeze or cough, I'm not going to edit it out, okay? A suspension block, all right? Do you know about the volume imbalance? If you watch this whole series or just watch the volume imbalance episode, you should know what it is. You do? Okay, just making sure. You do, right? Because if you don't, I'm going to make you click off. Okay, you do. Okay, just making sure, So, this right here is an example of a volume imbalance. Separation between two candles' bodies with the wicks colliding. Nothing too crazy. There it is right there. Price touches it, explodes higher. Simple, right? Now, think of the suspension block as, you know how a fair value gap is created within 3 candles, right? Like this. See right here? 1, 2, 3. That candle right there is a fair value gap. 1, 2, 3. That candle right there is a fair value gap. So, it's kind of cool how this PD rate works too. It forms within 3 candles. But, let me make a little diagram, okay? So here, it's 1 candle. Here, that's 2 candles. Just gonna make a separation, there we go. So I can actually create the suspension block. And we'll drag this one down like that. Drag this one a little higher. Or pull that one up a little bit. There we go. So now we got the little diagram, okay? So, you see the separation on both sides, right? Between the second and third candles, you got a separation. And in the first and second candles, you got a separation. So what do we have? We have 2 volume imbalances on both sides of what? This series of 3 candles, okay? So we got volume imbalance here, first 2, volume imbalance here, the last 2. So when you have that, that creates the suspension block. Now I did mention this forms like their fair value gap, not saying it has to have a fair value gap right here within this area. No. A suspension block just has to have 2 volume imbalances on both sides of a series of 3 candles. Okay, so volume balance in between the first 2, 1, 2, right here. And we have a volume balance between the last 2, second candle, third candle, right there. See that? So from here to here, right there, from volume balance to volume balance is your suspension block. Since this is formed off of volume balances, what do you think can happen to the suspension block? Or what can price do to it? How can price act upon it? It can move through it. That's exactly what can happen. It can move through it because with volume balances, price can, as you can see over here, it can move through it. Price moves above it, drops back down, moves back up above it, drops back down into it, and then finally uses it to deliver higher. So, since this is formed off of volume balances, once again, price can move back and forth until it's ready to refer to it. It can move back and forth. While it's doing that, okay, and this goes with any PD array that you can do that with, like inversion, fair value gaps, and stuff like that. You can use the disrespect of the equilibrium if it's not referring to it. Like for example, if price is ready to go lower, like if I can get my little drawing tool. Oh, price is ready to go lower. Is ready to go lower, right? You can see price struggling around the equilibrium, right? It's not referring to it. It's not using it to go high or anything. But what it's doing is it's ready to go lower. So if we want to see price go lower, we want to see it push past the suspension block, right? Because that is what's the word? A roadblock. It's something that's in the way of price. So since price does not want to refer to it, and we just want to go through it, what should price do as a confluence for price wanting to go lower? It should go to the equilibrium. So it's going down, and we should just poof, do the equilibrium and just keep going. Okay, if you were to use it as price is not referring to it. Okay, and there is a suspension block, I think on the 4-hour or the hourly right now on the NAS that you can see. I think it's somewhere last week or the first week of November. You should be able to find it. It's within that crazy crash, like that 1,000-point crash. But anyway, yeah, this is the suspension block. Now, according to ICT, this is stronger than the mitigation block, according to him. Okay, because in the video, you can go watch it yourself. I think he brought it up here. Let me turn this down. Let me see. Let's see. Just real quick, I just want to show you the video that he brought it up in so you can go watch it for yourself. Oh, look at that. There he is. ICT right there. More ICT videos. Let me find it for you just so you can go watch for yourself. Yeah, right there. ICT suspension block and review, September 30th, 2025. He goes over it right there. And I think every other video after that, he has a suspension block in it because, you know, if he brings up a new concept, obviously he has to talk about it. So from this video right here all the way to these four up here. So anything after September 30th, 2025, the 2025 mentorship likely has a suspension block in it. So you can go watch that. If you don't want to watch this, if you think I'm lying to you, go there and watch it. Anyway, back to the suspension block, okay? Well, what is this little line here? It's like little specks. Delete that. Anyway, let's look at this higher time frame suspension block that I mentioned. Should be somewhere around here, wherever it is. It might be on the 4 hour. Just give me a second. Reminder, this is completely unedited, so don't expect anything fancy. Yeah, this right here. Let's zoom in. You see these 3 candles? I'm gonna highlight them for you. 1, 2, 3. You're probably like, okay, there's a volume imbalance right there, clearly, but where's the other one? That's where you zoom in. Now you see? See that? Probably like, oh, but JJ, it's so small. It's a volume imbalance, though. It's there. It exists. So if it exists, can the algorithm refer to it? Yes. Yes, of course. So, from volume imbalance to volume imbalance, okay, no matter if there's a fair value gap right there, because there is one, but that doesn't matter. When you have 2 volume imbalances on both sides, that makes it a what? A suspension block. Oh. So just on this time from here, the 4 hour, geez, that little sickness I was talking about is kicking in. Got some mucus coming up. Let me mark this as suspension block. Clearly on this time frame, price isn't really referring to it. You can't really see it like respecting the equilibrium and stuff. But I'm sure if we go down to the 15-minute, 5-minute, we can clearly see how price is referring to it at certain times, like 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you know, just time and price. Price being suspension block, time being kill zones, macros, whatever. So let's go to the 15-minute and actually look at some stuff, starting from the actual creation of the suspension block. First, you know what? Hold on. Before we do that, sorry, let me just do this real quick. We can actually have the levels on the chart on the lower time frame. Here's the quadrants right there, all the way over. Boom, there we go. Now let's go back to the 15-minute. Okay, so starting from here, here's the suspension block being created right here. I think down here is like where the next day closes, or where it's officially created. Price comes up, touches it right here. 1, rallies lower. 2, breaks lower. Now what is happening here? What's happening here is price is using the suspension block to have some form of what? Resistance, according to the retail traders, okay? So we are building resistance or accumulating what? Buy side liquidity. So they're like, oh, this is some nice resistance. Oh my god, you know what? We're gonna keep that in now. Like I said, I'm not gonna edit this. This is some nice resistance, according to retail traders. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna sell short and put their buy stops up here to, you know, cover their sell position. So when it comes up here, 2 things happen. Okay, it pulls in short traders, like more shorts, or it takes out shorts, meaning the buy stops that are covering the, you know, short sellers that were selling these highs up here. They're going to put their buy stops up here, so when it runs it, their stop loss is hit. Okay, if you know about futures, well, just trading in general, you know that if you're putting in a sell position, your buy limit is your take profit, and your buy stop is your what? Stop loss. Very, very simple. Nothing too crazy. So price is accumulating buy side liquidity while referring to what? The suspension block. 1, 2. And we got buy side liquidity up here. So while this is happening, oh, wrong line, my bad. Wrong line. While this is happening, or before, oh no, after this happens actually, once buy side liquidity has been accumulated, price rallies lower into what? Sell side liquidity. So what's this? This is a sell side liquidity purge. But what is also happening? Do you remember Power of 3? A light bulb just went off in your head, didn't it? Yeah. See what's going on here? Accumulation. Accumulation. Manipulation. We referred to the suspension block multiple times so we can do what? Manipulate. After we manipulated, what did we leave behind? Buy side liquidity. So retail is selling right now while what? While what's going on? Smart money is buying. Okay. So every time that buy side liquidity is taken, even though the true narrative or bias is to go lower, what is happening when they are taking out buy side liquidity? Smart money is accumulating shorts, okay, at every short-term high. So this is an intermediate term high for right now, but it does manipulate. So price can come up to this intermediate term high. If you want to mark it as that, this is an intermediate term swing. So it does manipulate as it should, because it needs to do that before it wants to, rally up here. And it does rally up. So now, what's the next phase? We got accumulation, manipulation. Now what? Distribution. Nice. After we distribute or begin distributing, okay, what happens? We refer to the lower quadrant. Now, what happens at quadrants? Okay, do you know what happens at quadrants? Do you like really know? PD arrays are created. Okay, PD arrays are created and reference points are referred to. Now, what reference points did we refer to? Well, let's see. Let's just see here. So, one, we have this order block that's created. Well, hold on. No, this is a propulsion block. My bad. This right here is a propulsion block. Reason being, hold on. Wait, no, I might be. No, this is a propulsion block. Never mind. Yeah, this is a propulsion block. Reason being, it's the deepest down close candle that visits this order block down here on the market. There, right there, this order block. You see, I'll move this over. Price refers down into it, delivers higher. We'll go ahead and go back. So you know that those three candles are the order block. You're probably like, okay, but why isn't this candle the propulsion block? Because that's the deepest down close candle, after this one or before this one. Reason being, what happened to this one? Its low got violated. Look, that candle's low got violated. So this is the new propulsion block. Pretty cool, isn't it? Like I said, the narrative is to what? Go lower. Not for this example, but I'm just saying, in the future, the narrative is to go lower, right? So, looking back, we came back, referred to what? That order block there, creating a what? Propulsion block. I'm sure if we go down to the lower time frame, like maybe, I don't know, like 3 minute, 1 minute, I'm sure we're going to see some form of a reference happening on this propulsion block. But that forms at 9:30. Let's delete it. So you know that that's the propulsion block. And 9:45 jumps higher, completely disrespecting the what? The suspension block. Remember, like I said, if you want to see price, not necessarily, well, no, if you want to see price move higher, right, but there's something in your way, what should you see happen to it? You should see it get disrespected, right? Now, price over here was referring to it. It was making signatures. It was doing a lot of things. It was referring to a lot of stuff, okay, as it was, referring to the suspension block. But since we don't want to refer to it no more, and we just want to shoot through the roof and distribute, what should we do? We should disrespect the equilibrium. Does that happen? Yes, it does. Okay, that does indeed happen. And guess what? We reprice back in, respecting the upper quadrant. What do we create? Order block. See that? Right there. Right there is your order block. Guess what? Breaks through the high, refers back into it, and I'm sure if we put the quadrants or the equilibrium, whatever you want to say. Whoa! Do you see that? Did you see that? Let's get closer. Hold on. Do you see that right there? That right there? See that? Do you know what that is? That's institutional order flow. That's algorithmic price theory right there. See that? Body's respecting that equilibrium to the tick. Want to see? Here, let's see. Let's zoom in real quick. See that? To the tick. Whoa. Pretty nice, isn't it? Now, from the respect to that order block, the beautiful respect to that order block, what should happen? Price should keep going higher. And it does. It does. Rallies for about, from that point, about 200 points. Pretty nice. Very, very nice. So, like I said, in the future, price should, go through this, because obviously in hindsight, that's the narrative. Price wants to go lower for the day of Thursday. Does it do that? Yeah, it does indeed do that. So, let's look around here. We might drop down to a 5 minute too. Maybe. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go to a 5 minute. Maybe even a 3 minute too. Yeah, let's see. Can I go to a 3 minute? Yes, I can. Nice. Let's start from a 5 minute though, and then go lower. We want to get all the data we can get, all the studying we can get. Here we are. Okay, price is ready to head lower. 9:30 is open. Price is ready to deliver. It's just so ready. Okay. So At 9:30, which is about right here, we begin digging into the what? The suspension block. We've hit the upper quadrant. So what should happen? PD arrays should start getting created and referred to. Signatures can also be created around this time too. Notice when price hits the upper quadrant, what happens? What is JJ doing now? Oh my god. Immediate rebounds. Where? Pay attention. Pay attention, Luke. See that? There's 3 candles. 1, 2, 3. Rebounds up to the first candle's low. That's your immediate rebounds. What should happen? Price should go lower. Oh, wow. Does it do that? Yes, it does. Next candle does that. Hits the equilibrium. Respects it with the bodies. But you're like, okay. Why is it not like going lower as it should? Is that equilibrium? It's just give it a little minute. Plus, the first 30 minutes of the, opening range are still here. It's still here. So, first 30 minutes, price is going to do whatever it needs to do, right? I'm assuming we, on like the 3 minute or like the 1 minute, we come up, take some form of like a short-term high, and we come back down after touching the, what's that, the upper quadrant. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm trying to like process it all. My bad, guys. But on this candle, we rally higher, taking out that candle's high. I'm sure there's some form of liquidity right there. After that, 950 kicks in. What's that? That's the 950 macro. 950 to 1010 macro. That kicks in. Guess what happens? Shoot through the equilibrium. Okay? We're referring to the suspension block intraday while wanting to disrespect it on a near-term basis. Meaning, just fully within the day. Okay? Or for the entire day's narrative. The entire day's narrative is to go lower. We want to go lower. We want to see it what? Disrespect the suspension block. Duh. But what we're going to do, period, is refer to the suspension block while we're doing that. Because we want to use it to go lower, to go through it. Simple, right? I hope it's simple. And we do that. 950 kicks in. 950 to 1010. We look. Just keeps dropping. Then that 1010 price stops. Nice, isn't it? But look here. Price comes back up. Barely reaches it. Barely reaches it. Like, geez, that's 1 point. Oh man, imagine getting edged for 1 point, man. That's why I do not do limit orders, man. Please never do limit orders. Like, I actually beg you, please. I've seen so many students fail doing it. Just don't do limit orders, okay? I pray to God, just do not do it. Anyway, you can see how strong suspension blocks are. Okay, we haven't even gone to the 3 minute, but if you want to do a little quick summary, or can I go to the 1 minute? Can I go that far on 1 minute? Yes, I can. Wow. Okay. Oh yeah, this is gonna be nice. Okay, yeah. Yep, I was right. There was some form of like liquidity right here. So just to make this quick, we had that higher time frame immediate rebalance. We had that rally lower, hitting the equilibrium, barely going through it. Then we had that rally back higher, taking out buy side liquidity. Once we did that, 950 kicked in, started dropping lower. Guess what? We referred to the upper quadrant. Guess what we created again when we hit the upper quadrant? Immediate rebalance. And we referred to the order block that was created after buy side has been purged. So you see what's going on here, right? We're rallying lower. We push past the equilibrium just a little bit. Well, no, we're now under it. Okay. We got this short-term low here. This next candle opens up, tries to reach the equilibrium, fails to do so. What's that indication of? Price wanted to go lower. Into what? That short-term low. Price, after failing to reach the equilibrium, drives lower. Now we've hit the lower quadrant. What should price do? Refer to an array. What's that array? Fair value gap. Okay. And sorry if I'm talking fast. I just want to not make this video too long because it's already close to 20 minutes. But it hits that fair value gap, drops lower. Now, since we've basically almost left the suspension block, and that's the last reference point within the suspension block, and we've referred to that reference point that we need to refer to, what should price do now? All in all, it should go lower. Period. Keep referring to, reference points and barely purge buy side liquidity, since we've already used the first 30 minutes to do what we got to do so we can actually rally through the suspension block. And do we do that? Yep. Do it pretty nicely, too. Pretty nicely. Anyway, this is the end of episode 17. I'm not going to say the last episode because ICT can just randomly come up with a new PD array. Anyway, I hope this was insightful and, helpful to your trading. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck and good trading.